Hi there, it's Hélène with another video. Thanks for joining me. I am so happy that you are here because I am talking to you about how it went using the chocolate bar palette. And I have used it. This is the 7th day with this palette. And if you are unfamiliar with the chocolate bar, this is what it looks like. Try not to blind you. So quite a few neutral colors, a pop of purple, a pop of pink, but it's pretty much it. So, and some dusty rose colors. We'll go through all of the colors and talk about them. So I used the chocolate bar, and I got it for half off, and decided when I saw it for half off that even though I have Urban Decay Naked series, I have the Tarte, all the Tartelette palettes, including the Clay Play, that I still wanted to see what all the fuss was about. So this is what the brand new focus was. If you haven't seen my intro, I will put it up in the cards so that you can see just what the whole rationale was. And along with these, I was going to do items in the Sex on the Peach kit. And if you want to see my video on the Sex on the Peach kit, why I purchased it, what my rationale was, I will also link that one in the cards because I think that it's a good video on to really give a good explanation of how I determine whether something is good value. So the 3 items that I took out of that kit that I decided to try were the Cooling Matte Primer, the the Peach Mist, and also the Peach Perfect Setting Powder. So let's talk about the palette first, and then talk about the Sex on the Peach kit, and then anything else that I used from Too Faced and what I thought of it. Starting off with the chocolate bar palette, there are 16 shades in here. And one of the things I did mention that I appreciated the 2 big pans for colors that I would use often in a palette, and I think that I'm not alone in that. So for example, white chocolate was great as this one. For some folks would be great for setting eye primer, and then this one, the shimmery one, would also be kind of an all-over color to complement other colors. You could put it as a wash over another color, or use it on its own, brow bone, inner corner, inner lid, that kind of a thing. When I look at all of the colors, I can say safely say that I used white chocolate or champagne truffle, either, I don't know if you can see the colors all that well, either as, so this one I used as a brow bone and inner corner highlight, and this one I used mostly as a brow bone highlight in pretty much every one of my looks. When it came to the mattes, I used all of them relatively frequently. I think the one that I used the most was milk chocolate right here. Quite a few times, 3 or 4 times for sure. And I decided there were really some trios in here that I used at least once, but I could see myself using again. So I saw this trio here as just a natural, this color, which is Salted Caramel, in the crease and outer lid, also on lower lash line, maybe a little bit. This one, which is Marzipan on the inner lid, and then this one, I cannot remember the names, Hazelnut on the outer lid and also lower lash line. So this trio was very nice, and I did the same with this trio. So I had Semi-Sweet in the crease, outer lid, and on lower lash line. I had Haute Chocolate on the outer lid and also lower lash line, and then I had Crème Brûlée on the inner lid. And Crème Brûlée, I ended up really liking that color. It's kind of a gold color with a bronzy gold color, and I think it looks really, really nice on the lid. And it worked really well with Haute Couture, Haute Chocolate. I don't know if I called it Couture the first time. But I think you can see how these 2 colors would be very complementary. So really enjoyed that. I did a pink look on a given day with using this strawberry color as my base and really deepening up the outer lid with the cherry cordial, and that looked okay. And I added up a little bit of punch of shimmer with this violet color. What's it called? Candied violet. Looked really good. Another day I went more with the burgundy dusty rose, and I ended up using these two colors. The was it amaretto more on the inner lid, and then black forest truffle on the outer lid, center lid, crease, and lower lash line. And I thought that these two colors really went well together. Now I used what's it called, triple fudge most of the days on the lower lash line and also on the upper lash line, and I'm wearing that today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you everything that I'm wearing today. Today I've got milk chocolate as the crease and outer lid color. I deepened up that color with semi-sweet. I deepened it up with semi-sweet and also deepened it up with a little bit of triple fudge, and triple fudge I used as the liner, like I said, upper and lower. And I also ended up using, once I deepened up with semi-sweet and triple fudge, I was looking at the look and going, you know, I'm not too impressed with this color. I think it's bland. It's just not strong enough. It really absolutely requires either this color or, where is it? This color or amaretto or even marzipan to kind of kick it up a notch. So I think that strawberry bonbon just gets lost in this whole palette when you pair it up with other things. So I just decided to go and dig into another color on this, which is the 7th day. And I ended up pairing it with, I used an Annabelle lavender pencil, which is in my Roulette Pan collab, with the one I'm always pairing it with, which is an Annabelle shadow, which is a pink shimmer shadow. I don't have the name of it. But that's what you'll see on my inner lid, which has strawberry underneath, and I put strawberry on and I just went, no, it's not enough. So I put the lavender liner, which has a kind of a white base to the purple, and then put that pink shimmer on top. But on the center of my lid, I have the other color, which is the candied violet. And I think it looks pretty good. But this concoction on my eye today made me realize that I'm bored with this palette. One other one that I wanted to mention before I forget is, because I didn't mention it yet, is the Gilded Ganache, this one. I did a look with that one yesterday, and it was a Gilded Ganache smoky eye, and it looked so good. It really brought out the green in my eyes. I thought it looked fantastic, and so that is one that I may very well go back to this palette for, because it's the one that left the most impression with me. That one, and then the Candied Violet as an accent to that pink shimmer from Annabelle on the the middle of the lid to add that pop of violet, also left an impression. So those are the two. Crème Brûlée, like I said, that I really like on the inner lid. I have a lot of this kind of color in a bunch of palettes, so to me that's a duplicate. Most of these colors are duplicate. One of them that I'll just give you a swatch as well was that Black Forest Truffle. That one is also a bit different. It makes me think of that Gilded Ganache, that it is a bit of a different color. So I should really give you that view. It looks like a plum with a bit of a shimmery rose gold in it. Some glitter, really. It's kind of neat, and I don't hate it. I think it's a nice color, but not enough for me to necessarily go in the palette for, but a contender. Black Forest Truffle. So that's the palette. Knowing what I know now about it, would I repurchase? I think that if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would not have purchased this palette because I just wanted to understand and be able to compare it and contrast it against Tarte and Urban Decay. So for that reason, I'm happy I have it. But I far, far, far more enjoy the peach palette. So to me, the peach palette is just way more interesting. Yes, there are beiges and browns, but there are pinks. There's kind of a green brown. There are a couple of pretty dark purple colors. There's a dark shimmery one. To me, I can do more with this palette than I can with the chocolate bar. And I'll just put them up side by side for you. I just feel like there are more options with the peach palette compared to the chocolate bar palette. The real, like the cherry cordial and the violet, candied violet, are really the only two that stand out from that palette when you just look at it. So I'd rather really play with the peach palette, the sweet peach palette, compared to the chocolate bar. That's just my preference. If you have a preference for the chocolate bar and it's your absolute favorite palette, by all means. This is just what I think. And I tend to be a sucker for color, and so you could see how a neutral palette like the chocolate bar just wouldn't quite be my thing. Some of my favorite palettes are very colorful, and I guess I satisfied my curiosity. I wanted to really understand what the chocolate bar could deliver, and I think it's a good palette. I am not suggesting it's not. It's just not a palette that I would like to be confined to for a long period of time. So I lasted 6 days with it only, just using the chocolate bar, and on day 7 here I am pulling other shadows in. So I know it's time for me to move on, but I do have a really good appreciation for what the palette is like and how it performs. I do like Too Faced shadows. Obviously, I would not be saying that I really like this palette if I didn't. I like the amount of product that comes in the chocolate bar palette. I think it's good value for money, especially that now we can get it on sale because it's been out for so long. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I did not dislike any of the looks that I came up with. I think the reason I disliked the look I was coming up with today was because I was really trying to force Strawberry Bonbon into the look, and it really wasn't working for me, and maybe it's just my lack of talent. You can decide for yourself, but I like what I came up with, and it's working for me. Now for the other products that I said I would cover, let's go in order. Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. I used, I think, 6 out of the 7 days. I liked it. I don't really feel a need for a mattifying primer, but I will continue to use it, but I will use it only in my T-zone because on the outside periphery of my face, I'm very dry and I don't need help being dry. And one of the things I made a mistake today is that instead of just using it in the T-zone, I ended up pulling it too far down my nose on each side, and it ended up drying my under eye area lower here, and it's creasing my skin up, and I really don't like it. I will continue to use it. It has a very nice smell. I'm not mad at it, and it has a little bit of a peach color to it, so there's a tiny aspect of color correction in it. Kind of makes me think of the Professional from that perspective. I don't dislike it. I'm going to continue to use it, and I think it's a fair amount of product for your money. It's 20 mil or 0.67 fluid ounces. I think it's a fair amount of primer. The next one on is the Peach Perfect setting setting spray. It is called the Mattifying Loose Setting Powder, and now this one I also need to be very careful with. I used it once or maybe twice where I was using it all over, and oh my god, my under eye went, ugh, what are you doing to me? It felt tight right away. And so again, I'm only using it in my T-zone. I am managing to use it as I'm trying this powder on the periphery of my face, but anywhere near the triangle under my eye, absolutely not. It is way, way, way too dry. Now, do I like the look of the powder? It is very finely milled. It is beautiful. I like the way it opens up. I can get just the amount of product that I want or need. and it does have a very nice smell, which really makes putting on my makeup all that much more enjoyable. But I definitely, for my purposes with dry skin with just slightly oily in the middle here, I really need to pair this with a different powder. And finally, oh, and if you're curious, just for the time being, because I am trying to pan it, I'm using it with the CoverGirl Advanced Radiance 105, which I find drying as well, but nowhere near as drying as the Perfect Peach Perfect powder. If you have oily skin, I bet you would like this one. When it comes to some oily spots on my face, it does a fantastic job, and I have been able to just not reapply any powder or blot or whatever during the day. So I think it does great. If you have oily spots, even for partial for combo skin, even though I'm not going to use it all over my face, I will still use it in the T-zone and be very satisfied with it. Now the Peach Mist Mattifying Setting Spray, again, mattifying, right? I have used it, I'm fine with it, but I'm using it sparingly. I like the smell, it is a very nice experience, but probably not something that I would repurchase. I don't need the mattifying aspect of this, but it is very nice. You have to shake it though, otherwise you will see the spray droplets on your face. And so when it has a sticker on it, there's a good reason, is because you don't want to forget to shake it. Overall, I'm satisfied with those products. They did what they said they would do. I don't think that I can say for any of the products that I'm unhappy with them. I mean, I don't have the perfect skin situation for all of these products, but it does not mean they underperformed. It just means that they're not ideal for me, but I can certainly make them work and will continue to do so. Now, along with the eye looks, I've used certain lipsticks that I have from Too Faced. The one I used, so I've got 4 here. The one I used the most was the Lip Injection Glossy in Spice Girl. So I used that one and really quite enjoyed it. The one I wanted something really neutral that really did not detract from the eye look that I had on, this was my go-to. It is pretty powerful as a lip plumper, at least for me. It has a spice in it that really reacts with your lips. If you're not comfortable with that, you may not appreciate it. But by the second, third time I was wearing it, I was fine with it. The other one, the next one that I used the most, they're kind of in order, is the Sellout, which is the Melted Matte from Too Faced. So in Sellout, and I've got another Melted Matte here. So I used that one 2-3 times. And then Queen Bee I have on today, and it is another Melted Matte. And then finally, I'm going to call this a rediscovered love, because I didn't realize how much I actually had liked it the last time around. And so I will definitely be wearing this again. It's a little bit light for my skin now, but with winter coming, it's going to be an increasingly flattering color as I lose the color that I have, the extra color that I have from a bit of tanning this summer. And that is the Melted Latex in Peekaboo. It's super comfortable and it makes me want to consider buying more. So there are some sets available in some different colors like this that are on sale, I think right now at Sephora. I'm not ready to get another one yet. I think they're half price, but it really left an impression, and I'm just likely to try more of this melted latex. Now, I don't think I would buy a color that is dark, because I think it could settle in fine lines around my mouth. But I have to say the Peekaboo I really enjoyed, and it's a pretty thick kind of consistency, and if you don't like a thick gloss, you're not likely to like this opaque kind of color either. Let me just give you a swatch of this one so that you can see what I'm talking about. It's pretty goopy, but for someone who has dry lips like I do, it's really nice to have on your lips. So you know what, I'll just give you a swatch of everything here. So this is the Spice Girl, so also goopy, but not quite as opaque as the Peekaboo Melted Latex. So this was the lip injection one. Now this is the Sellout matte lip color, and it's very, very matte. Right next to the glossy lip injection there. So Spice Girl and then Sellout. And then finally, the last matte that I have here to show you is, like I said, the one that's on my lips right now, but it's different in a swatch because we don't all have the same base lip color. And the mattes pretty much dry down the same color as they apply, so here we go. Compared to other liquid lipsticks, this is, even though they're not dry yet, it's pretty much the color that you're going to end up with. They were all fairly different, and so I felt like I had a really good array of colors to put on my lips by just keeping with the Too Faced lipsticks that I have. So that's it. Do I like the chocolate bar? It's fine. I would say the same thing for any other neutral palette that I have, to be quite frank. As far as neutrals that are straight, mostly beiges and browns with shimmers. Am I going to reach for it again? The scent was pleasant. I don't see why I wouldn't reach for it for some neutrals. I don't know necessarily, other than Gilded Ganache, I don't know that I would go to this palette for a full look. I think that smoky eye left an impression with me. It left an impression with my husband, and he never comments on looks. Just if you don't remember me talking about it, it's this guy right here. It's really, really pretty. And yeah, you know what? I don't think I did a swatch of this one. Terrible, terrible, terrible me. Yeah, I did not do a swatch of it, as far as I could see. So this is Gilded Ganache, and it's really got some nice color to it. Again, worst place for me to swatch. I suck at swatching, but it's beautiful. If you have brown or green eyes, it has an iridescence to it. It has kind of a bronze with a bit of olive green with gold shimmer. Like, it just kind of covers the gamut as far as neutral with an edge. How's that? That's what I would call that particular color. Neutral with an edge. So yeah, that one might be a go-to evening look. I kind of like the gold olivey green when they suit my eye, and this one really does. And I'm always hunting for that kind of a pulling to the green kind of a color that I can get away with. So that's definitely on my short list of those kinds of shadows that suit that kind of a look. So I'm not mad at having spent a week. I'm very happy that I ended up doing the smoky Gilded Ganache on day 6, which was yesterday, because I have to say by day 5 it was a real yawner, and day 6 really kind of lifted my spirits, and then day 7 I was just ready to play, which just tells me that today is the day that I'm ready to move on. And like I said, I'm happy that I tried this palette. As a YouTuber, it just made a whole lot of sense for me to try it, and I'm not going to declutter it. I'm using it. I'm going to keep it in my collection. It's just not going to be a go-to palette for me in my collection. So I hope that makes sense. I thank you for joining me for this review today, or the how was it of this brand new focus. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you liked this one, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel in general, please consider subscribing. I hope you found some aspect of this review useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.